Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's EBC video. We're at the Great Minnesota Get Together, the Minnesota State Fair. We're here for a couple of different reasons today, and we're going to get to both of them. The first reason we're here, we're actually at the Native Wildlife Garden just outside the Horticulture Building. This is a spot that is all about supporting insects and pollinators and butterflies, and we're going to be using those butterflies to be thinking about Matthew 16:21 through 28. All right, so in Matthew 16:21 through 28, we're right after the spot where Jesus is called Peter the Rock. And then Jesus starts talking to all his disciples about what's going to happen next. And he tells them that the plan is that he's going to be turned over and that he's going to be crucified and that he's going to be raised again. And Peter has a really interesting reaction at that point. He's like, never. It actually says in the Bible that Peter rebukes Jesus for this and says, this will never happen to you. And now, here's Peter, who's just been called the Rock, and Jesus says, get behind me, Satan. It's a really strong set of language, right? A really strong set of language. But what's happening here is Jesus tells Peter, you're thinking about earthly things, human things. You're not thinking about divine things. And the message that Jesus is talking about is really that there's a plan, and it's not Peter's plan, right? Peter can't force what he thinks should happen in this instance because Jesus knows that God has a plan for him. All right, and so one of the things that when we're thinking about butterflies, we're thinking about just that death and resurrection idea, right? Butterflies go into that chrysalis, and when they come out, they're butterflies, right? So that's just one way in which we're thinking about the resurrection. But there's also, and I'm going to use a little popular culture here, there's also the movie Encanto has a song in it that's Dos Oruguitas. And that song is about two caterpillars that really want to cling to each other, hold on to each other. And the song is all about those caterpillars needing to separate in order to turn into butterflies and then meet again. And that there's something more than just what they want to do, there's something that they're going to do. And so as we're thinking about butterflies here at the State Fair, we can be thinking about the fact that God has a plan, and that even though we're clinging to our plan, God has a plan that doesn't always include exactly how we think it's going to go. So be on the lookout for that plan this week. Now, one other thing to be thinking about, I just want to give you a sense of how big God is today, all right? We're at the State Fair. The record for a single Friday in the second week of the State Fair is like 157,000 people in one day. So if I think I've got a plan, and 157,000 other people think they have a plan, God has a plan, and not just for me, not just for you, for 157,000 people, and 8 million people, and 8 billion people. That's how big God is. So all those plans that all those people have, God has a plan that's for all of us. All right, so everybody, have a great time. Maybe even get out to the State Fair this weekend, but whatever you do, know that God is there, working in your lives, doing great things, and be on the lookout for not just your plan, but his plan too. Have a great week, everybody.